Kotor, a coastal city in Montenegro, is located in a secluded part of the Gulf of Kotor. The Bay of Kotor is one of the most indented parts of the Adriatic Sea. Some have called the southernmost fjord in Europe, but it is a ria, a submerged river canyon. Together with the nearly overhanging limestone cliffs of Orgen and Lovchen, Kotor and its surrounding area form an impressive and picturesque Mediterranean landscape. The old Mediterranean port of Kotor is surrounded by an impressive city wall built by the Republic of Venice, and Venetian influence remains predominant in the city's architecture. In recent years, Kotor has seen a steady increase in tourists, many of them coming by cruise ship. Visitors are attracted both by the natural beauty of the Gulf of Kotor and by the old town of Kotor. Kotor is part of the World Heritage Site, dubbed the Natural and Historical Region of Kotor. Kotor's walls surround the town and wind their way up the mountain behind the city. This waterfront tower, known as Campana Tower, is part of the city's fortification. As part of the Highlights of Montenegro tour, we were bused to Neguchi village, where we enjoyed a typical Montenegrin mid-morning snack. The bus drive was exciting to say the least, as the bus climbed the zigzag road to go to the other side of the mountain range, following our panoramic views of Kotor captured when we reached the top of the mountain. The Njegusi village is part of the Cetinje municipality. It is located on the slopes of Mount Lovchen within Lovchen National Park. This village is best known as birthplace of Montenegro's royal dynasty of Serbian origin, the Petrovic, which ruled Montenegro from 1696 to 1918. The village is also known for its well-preserved traditional folk architecture. Local forms of cheese and prosciutto made solely in the area around Njegusi are genuine contributions to Montenegrin cuisine. Cetinje is the honorary capital of Montenegro, with the official residence of the president. It had a population of 13,991 inhabitants as of 2011. The former government house, now a museum. The court church, built on ruins of earlier 1450 foundations. The Biljarda is a magnificent stone building established by Peter II Petrovic Njegos as his own dwelling and to house the Senate offices. Today it's a museum where the memory of this famous ruler, poet and bishop is preserved. The building is named after the billiard table Njegos brought from Italy. 50 young men carried the billiard table's parts from Kotor up to Cetinje. The monastery of Cetinje was built at the beginning of the 12th century. In the monastery there are valuable exhibits from the medieval period, among them the seal and scepter that belonged to the Lord of Zeta, Ivan Kronojevic. King Nikola I was the only king of Montenegro, reigning as king from 1910 to 1918. He was also a poet, notably penning Onamo Namo, a popular song from Montenegro. He married Milena in 1860 and had 12 children. 5 of his daughters were married, each to princes and kings, giving Nikola the nickname the father-in-law of Europe, a nickname he shared with his contemporary King of Denmark. Let's tour King Nikola's palace enjoying his own composition, Onam Onamo. Bishop Danilo's mausoleum. The Lovchenska Villa is the name of a statue erected in 1939 to honor 350 Montenegrins who died when their boat sank entering an Albanian port in 1916. They were immigrants coming back to fight for Montenegro in the First World War. Then, after our tour of quaint Cetinje, we headed back to Kotor via Budva, a coastal town in Montenegro. The coastal area around Budva, called the Budvanska Riviera, is the center of Montenegro's tourism and is well known for its sandy beaches, diverse nightlife, and examples of Mediterranean architecture. Budva is 3,500 years old, which makes it one of the oldest settlements on the Adriatic Sea coast. Then it was back to Kotor, where a guided walking tour around the old city awaited us. The sign at the entrance of Old Town Kotor reads, "What belongs to others we don't want. What is ours we will never surrender." Old Kotor's sea gate leading to the main square. Kotor's clock tower opposite the sea gate dates from the early 17th century. The clock tower is a three-story building with two clock faces. On its facade is the crest from the ruling prince of the time. In front of the clock tower is a pillar of shame, where local criminals were once died as punishment. From the main square you get a glimpse of the castle of St. John, that occupies a location that has been fortified in some manner for centuries. The current fortifications date from Venetian rule in the 15th century. The castle is only one part of the fortification of Kotor. The walls travel down the mountain of St. John and surround the city, where towers and other defense structures have historically provided protection for residents and buildings. After the guided walking tour concluded, Rosita climbed all the way to the little chapel located probably at 600 meters above the sea level and way before the castle of St. John. The Cathedral of St. Tryphon in Kotor is one of the two Roman Catholic cathedrals in Montenegro. It is the seat of the Croatian Catholic Bishopric of Kotor, which covers the entire Gulf, currently led by Bishop Mons. This Catholic cathedral was built in honor of Saint Tryphon, the patron and protector of the city, on the same site where an older church had already existed long ago. That earlier church was built in 809 by a citizen of Kotor, where the remains of the saint were kept after being brought from Constantinople, now known as Istanbul. Today it is the best known tourist attraction in Kotor and a symbol of the city. The saint is depicted in the city's coat of arms along with a lion and the Mount of St. John.
Added in the 17th century, so it's a mixture of two styles of architecture.
the Austria-Hungarian General Staff Building, now the Town Hall. The Palace of the Pima family from the 17th century. The Palace of the Gurgurina family from the 18th century. The Carampana fountain, with its Baroque metalwork, was once the only source of fresh water in Kotor. Past residents of the town used to congregate here to exchange news and gossip. The Orthodox Church of St. Nicholas dates from the early 20th century and is located on St. Luke's Square. It has a rich collection of icons and a beautiful iconostasis made by a Czech artist. The Church of St. Luke is a late 12th century church with Romanesque and Byzantine elements. This well-preserved church has two altars, one for Orthodox use and one for Catholic use.
We have 360 degrees, very nice view, to the roofs of the town and cupolas of some churches and the tower bells. You see the whole hill, and just in the other side you see your ship.
As mentioned before, after the guided tour, Rosita went for a half-and-puff hike on the fortified switchback from the city of Kotor to the castle of St. John, but because of the rain she only made it to the little chapel located only half the way up. On the way up, she also encountered this little shrine. The site offered fantastic views of Old Kotor and the bay. Let's enjoy them. Then it was time to say goodbye to Old Kotor, hoping that the sun will shine on a next visit. All were waiting for Rosita to board the Seven Seas Mariner, scheduled to set sail for Dubrovnik in Croatia at 8 in the evening.